Hi, friends. We're here.
We are. We made it.
We're live at Rawn's. Where's Harry Potter live?
In a closet.
Under the stairs. I feel like that's where we are.
Yeah.
Yes, the Harry Potter closet. It is. What's today? Monday.
The 24th.
Monday the 24th. We're early in spring. Tarot and tattoos. We're going to start in about 30 seconds. We're just going to corral everybody.
Anyone who wishes to be corralled.
Yes. Did you have any tattoos today?
I did. I had one little tattoo.
What was the tattoo?
It was a symbol that represented. What did he say to me? It looked like a turtle with a big head, is what I told him.
But what was it actually?
It represented something positive and powerful. I'm so bad.
Oh, that's cool. I was just curious. I mean, I obviously don't know, so.
It was one perfect circle with a line through it, and then another one attached to it. Almost looked like the female symbol.
Oh, okay.
But instead of a plus at the bottom, there was another circle with 4 lines coming out of that.
And what did he say it meant?
That's what I'm struggling with.
Oh, okay, for sure. You've had a very long couple days. So.
I have had, yeah.
We're going to give you some grace for today.
But it was something about, he's been working very hard on his own spirituality and, I guess, keeping the right headspace and stuff. It was something about keeping a good headspace,
cool.
whatever.
The next day or two, if you think about it, I'd love to hear what that was.
Joe, if you see me on here.
I forgot about that! Now we know. Now we know.
There's a police station right next
police
to my
or fire
house.
alarm thing, yeah.
And that's the alarm. So maybe every time that goes off, we have to
moment of silence for whoever they're going to help. Yeah.
Right.
Like a dance break.
Yes.
What can we do? Because it lasts only a couple seconds, so maybe it's we do strike a pose.
Right. You have to pause and just act like
whatever. So as soon as the sound goes off, whatever position you're in,
you can't move.
You're frozen until it stops. Okay.
Anyway,
we'll see how that goes.
Joe, if you see this, remind me what the little symbol we did.
What does the little symbol mean?
We had a crazy session.
That's cool.
Yeah, he almost got scammed by EasyPass. Have you gotten?
Yes, I get one every
messages?
other day telling me how frantic it is that I'll be facing. Actually, I got one today.
Did you? I did too. Right after his,
yes.
You're gonna face a suspended license or whatever.
Yes, legal action. It was very long.
He asked me about it. I'm like, no, dude, that's a scam. So, but yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. I don't know why people feel the need to scam people. I feel like there's such more ease. I can sleep at night. Honestly.
I know. I'm always a little baffled by the dedication to the scam.
Right, because it does. It takes a lot of dedication. You are still technically working, but at the cost of people who are just
That makes me think there's a secondary factor. They're getting some kind of thrill out of the scam. I mean, it's somewhere probably in the range of addiction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're making... usually there's more money in the scam in a sense, but it's still a lot of time usually in these situations. But if you're getting a profit out of knowing people aren't getting anything in return or not what they thought they were getting, then that tells me there's a secondary... Oh, we have people. Hi, people! Yeah. That tells me that if someone's really into some kind of tomfoolery like that, there's a secondary level of issues.
Yeah.
That's how they want to use their powers for evil and not good.
Yeah.
We want to use our powers for good.
Most of the time.
Alright, so I think we should get started.
Yeah.
Today's Tarot and Tattoos. This is Rawn, and it's episode 7. Episode 7! That's a good number. I like the number 7. That's a good one. Yeah. I'm going to start shuffling my tarot deck, because we were saying we're going to start off with one of those. While I'm doing that, what is today's topic? Right there, in case you forgot.
Oh my god, you're so good. I do have the worst memory. Spiritual beings having a human experience. And we're also going to touch on, dreams and some other
comes
things.
Up, yeah.
Whatever.
Normally we have some talking points, but I think no one had the brain cell today between the two of us. No. We're just going to make it up as we go, so... we're just gonna freestyle it, which I think is like our specialty, honestly. So I'll talk a little bit about, this deck was actually gifted to me by a family member who I hold so dearly. It's called Winds of Change. I know I showed this deck in our episode 1 when you interviewed me about like my spirituality. And I love it because the artwork, it's giving like cave drawing a little bit. Like it's very indigenous, it's very simple. It's the vision card. And I also like that the definitions in the little book don't have a ton of words, so it gives me like a lot of room to interpret. Interpret?
I like interpreter.
It's interpret, right?
Interpret, yeah.
Interpret.
Interpret.
I think I'm saying it wrong. A good friend of mine actually corrected me a couple of years ago when I was public speaking. I'd say, gosh, what did I say? I don't know, but I was not saying it correctly. And she was like, Rainey, that's actually not how you say that word in the past tense. And I'm like, well, it is now.
It's how
surprise.
I say it.
So while I'm shuffling, you may hear me clearing my throat or humming. That's just me bringing myself into harmony. I've had a little bit of a roller coaster the last 39 and a half years. So lots of harmonizing to do. But just the last few days have been intense for me. And today feels like maybe I'm finally getting back on my feet a little bit. Took a little walk in nature. Left some peanuts for my bird friends. If you didn't see recently, I was in that area and I paused to take a picture of something and the birds gifted me a French fry.
They did.
It was the best day of my life.
They dropped a French fry.
They dropped a French fry on me while I was taking a picture and I looked up and there was a bunch of crows in the trees and I was like, oh, hi friends! So I think I've befriended a murder.
You have.
Yeah, so I left them a couple peanuts in different spots today at the bases of trees, so there's like a pattern. But then I realized almost all the way back to the tattoo shop that I still had a couple in my pocket, so I left a little trail.
So the trail is going to come to the shop?
Yeah, so if they catch on, which I think they will if I keep doing that, and one day I'll go out to my car, they're just going to be like, that'll be the second best day of my life.
James used to always just say randomly, like, we could see one bird, and he'd be like, it's like that movie, The Bird.
one bird.
Right,
one bird, that's it.
I made my mom rent it one time. It was like $4 or whatever. And it was
Blockbuster? Or was it online?
It was on, like, back in the day, DirecTV.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
So
he made my mom rent it, and we were like, wow, this is not what we were expecting.
Yes. So as I'm shuffling... what?
Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, yeah, that's terrifying. He's a scary, scary person. So as I'm shuffling, I'm also always thinking of, like, an element of truth. Or we can strike our own pose. We can strike our own pose.
Right,
or stay frozen where you're at. You have
make
to freeze.
a move. You have to do a pose.
Okay.
In some position and stand still. That's it.
Gotcha. So something I've been ruminating on, I mean my whole life, but especially it's come into much higher focus the last few weeks, is my trust with my higher power, my trust with God and spirit. Because I was raised in Catholicism, which tells me that God is just kind of like this old white guy in the sky who decides when good things and bad things happen. And if you do bad things happen to you. If you do good things, sometimes bad things still happen to you. And I'm always wrestling with that, I guess like that level of power that an entity has over me and my fellow humans and stuff like that. So lately, what seems to be like keep ruminating in my head is what if our higher power was just love? And what if a combination of our free will and the free will of others is normally fucking shit up? As opposed to as opposed to an entity being like, you sinner, you get punished. But I'm still struggling to like rack my brain completely around that because it's so ingrained in how I was raised that that's not what it is. But like, that feels right to me. Like, what if our creator was just a creator and just love and puts things in our path to support us? And when shitty things happen, it's more of a combination of either, like, we've made an error, other people are making an error, like that free will mindset.
And sometimes that's on accident, sometimes that's through purposely moving without kindness or love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like by trying to scam people through Easy Pass.
I need to get one of those. I saw someone put it on Facebook recently. They're like mark safe from the toll texts or something.
Really?
I was like, I need one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I am because I know what's going on.
Alright, so I just want to draw a card. I'm just thinking about that topic. I mean, of course, it's definitely something that I want to talk about. So I'm hoping that this card helps like continue that conversation, but also for anyone who's watching right now or anyone who listens in later, when we think about trusting our higher power, our creator, God, Jesus, whatever name you call that by, how can we break down the man-made walls that have put space, and barriers between us and something so beautiful and only full of light and love? How can we deconstruct those? I needed that. All right, what do we got? Here and now, all that is. Ooh, you want to show that to the camera?
With my slightly longer arms.
Slightly longer arms. I have the T-Rex arms. Lon has the ostrich arms. I guess ostriches don't have arms. Lon has like a longer reach. I just feel like you're taller, so like you're the ostrich, and I'm like the kiwi, the little bird that just.
I love kiwis.
Yeah, they're very cute.
I'm like a giraffe.
All right, so if you're the giraffe, am I like? I don't know, what's like what I always want to be either a platypus or a honey badger.
A honey badger? Mm-hmm. That's you? Yep.
Just walks around.
Take no shit. Yep.
Every time I see honey badger videos, I'm like, I just want one so bad. So tell me what you see in that image on the card.
It is honestly
your interpretation of it, yeah.
It's I wouldn't say feminine or masculine. It's a human being with hair. And they are holding what to me I would think is like the sun, and then a symbol underneath them. The sun, maybe the whole world, who knows, depending on what they're feeling, I guess. But a large object. And
as I'm reading the definition of the card, I'm almost nauseous by how accurate it is by what we were just talking about. So image, a man balancing the sun. Keywords, will, free will, and responsibility.
Yeah.
Meaning your life has purpose, and your actions affect others and the world. Dude, that's wild. You must choose whether or not to take responsibility. Your actions affect yourself and those around you. And I do think that responsibility is a choice. It's not one that I've made in most of my young life, like my adolescent life, even much through most of my early 30s especially, just living in such like not like super reckless, like maybe in an extreme way, but just taking no accountability or responsibility for my actions because I wasn't like mature enough mentally to like see anything as my faults. But now I'm the opposite. I'm like, nope, that was me. I did that. Yeah. What does that card bring up for you?
Just like, to me, two of the best qualities you can try to foster within yourself is empathy and accountability.
Yes, oh my gosh. Empathy.
We're all going through shit, right?
It's true.
Everyone's got a struggle that they're dealing with, or has, they've made it through that, but you're dealing with the trauma of it,
Yes.
And also, like, with that in mind, it's okay if you do, like, little dumb shit once in a while. You make a mistake.
Yeah, we're still human, for sure.
You catch an attitude with someone, like...
That's my favorite.
That doesn't mean whoever you're talking to should catch an attitude back with you. Although that's
their responsibility,
that's always
right?
a valid option, right? Because they could also be having equally bad or worse of a day, month, year, whatever it is, You
never know what someone else is going through.
But, we're all struggling to some capacity.
Yeah.
And, it's if you move with kindness and love, you're going to think like, oh shit, like, to me, when someone comes into Wawa, the shop, whatever, with a less than desirable attitude. They make a snide remark.
Are you talking about me when I come into the shop?
Hell yeah.
Trick or treat!
All the time, yeah. You coming in here with your trick or treat having
Honey, I'm
nonsense,
home.
Yeah. No, if someone, like, makes a snide comment, like, I try to respond, like, I acknowledge you just said that, but also, like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal to me, like, I hope you have a better day. And not in, like, a sarcastic, like, I said, how are you, and you didn't respond, so I'm gonna be nasty kind of way. Like, just I acknowledge.
I
Like,
acknowledge
hey,
what you're
friends,
doing, but
like,
I'm not gonna.
it's
Yeah.
not that, like, you know, we'll
That's
get through.
such a mature
It's
way of
okay.
thinking, though. Yeah.
Well, after being called some things over, like, sandwiches and milkshakes, like, what else am I supposed to do?
For sure. For sure.
Like, I can
you can't let that keep you up at night.
I can
like,
let that
you can't.
ruin my whole day and be like, wow, like, what an inconsiderate person. Or I can be like, maybe they were having a bad day.
Yeah, having a bad day.
Maybe, like, you know, I could have messed up too. Sometimes, like, I put tomatoes on your sandwich instead of
on your
cheese.
dill pickle chicken snack.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Which...
That's a hate crime,
happens.
honestly. Like, I might not be able to recover from that.
That's just simple human error. But yeah, so that's our card. I think we need a little stand
No,
for
you know
future
what?
podcasts.
Yeah, maybe live right here for now. Yeah.
Right.
I'll play with it for a second.
Something slightly taller.
I love everything you said. Like, I absolutely resonate with everything you're saying, but I wrote down as you were talking, make sure I have this out every time we podcast, by the way. You said move with kindness and love. So I used to say, or I still used to, still say to this day, is always lead with love, which is almost, I feel, puts me in the defense, though. If I'm moving with kindness and love, then that means I already know that's going to be my reaction no matter what you say.
Right. And I think it should be.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Defensive to an extent.
Yeah.
Like, I know I have a much better day when I don't let the small things
bother
me too. Yeah, like, yeah, you might be like, wow, like, did that person just really say that? Like, and reflect on it, because I think that's part of human nature, to be, like, offended a little bit, when someone does something silly to you, but it's
for
like...
sure. But whether you hold on to it or just, like, let that go and recognize we don't know what they're going through.
Yeah.
It's not a reflection of me, it's usually a reflection of them, like...
Yeah.
Because they know if they just asked you nicely, you would remake, the milkshake, the sandwich. Yeah. But instead they're like, now my day is ruined. Right. I'm like, is it, buddy? Is that where it started?
My favorite customers are those who say those things sarcastically to me, because they leave the impression of, yes, this is not to your expectation and whatever standard, but also, like, you made me laugh.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
You were like, this is a problem, but, like,
hey, thanks.
Can you bag up my shit for me so I can get out of here?
Out of here.
Yeah.
Anytime I have a friend that works in some kind of establishment, I always enter the front doors by saying very loudly, I'd like to make a complaint.
As you should.
So they know exactly what I'm in for. I have a friend that works for an auto parts store. I have a family member that works in a fast food establishment. And they know me, obviously, but when I walk through the doors, I'm like, I want to make a complaint! Just to, like, ease, like, I'm not going to make a complaint.
You might.
It would have to, I might. But it would have to be, like, pretty, I think some people, I don't know, I'm sure since you've especially worked in food service, you'll understand that some people come in wanting to fight. I always make sure I smile and say hi to the workers, because I know people are so nasty most of the time. It's so true.
Yep.
That's like everybody at Wawa.
Yeah, that's one of my coworkers.
A simple hello or a smile can make a person's day. It really can.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I try to say good morning to as many people as
I like that too.
Even, unless they look like they're really in a rush, they're not going to talk. I don't know. Like, you can read people's faces and be like,
Something my friend Nikki always says is, like, be brave enough to smile.
Yeah.
Be brave enough to smile, because I do think it's a level of vulnerability, especially if you're not sure, what the interaction's going to be like. So to start with a smile, hi, good morning, like, whatever that looks like. I don't know, it just sets a different tone for not only your own day, because you weren't nasty to somebody else, or if you did, you recovered. But you never know when someone just needs to say, like, hi, have a good one.
Right.
Like, you just never know. Like, I know sometimes people make a point to say those things to me, and inside I'm stewing. And that will, like, break the curse. I just need someone to say, hi, hope you're having a good day.
It's like a reality check, It's like, oh,
people
can interact with me while I'm, having
you back down to
a
earth.
mental breakdown right now. Yeah.
Brings you back down to earth when you have floated too far away. So since today's topic is spiritual beings having a human experience, what do you think that term means?
I think that, realistically...
Your own words. However, what does that mean to you?
We all...
I didn't look it up in the dictionary this time.
Spiritually, I believe that all people have the same, like, basic set of needs and desires and wants.
Okay.
But having a human experience means that there's going to be a lot of mistakes along the way. A lot of trauma, a lot of just negative experiences, you know, and it's not those moments that define us, but like how we react to them and what we take out of them.
Absolutely.
I shared a post recently. It was like, we all have a sad story. You can either make
I
it
saw that.
your excuse or your motivation, I believe it was. Which wasn't like, I'm not saying don't take the time to recover. Don't.
Yeah.
Like, if you have to grieve. If you have to take time away from friends, family, whatever. Like, me, when I have an issue, I kind of, like...
Give a water bottle. Sam's about to
Sam is making an entrance.
Oh, is he gonna knock over her?
When I'm going through things, I, like, isolate a lot of the time. And, like, you can't hold that against someone, you know? Like, you can't hold a
connection. Oh, we're back. Surprise!
I think Janae wants to see Sam.
Kitty T! Oh my god, I want to see
Sam! Do you have any input?
Oogie. Is the white one Oogie?
Yeah, Oogie's down there. Sam, do you have any input on spiritual beings having a human experience?
Sam is probably the most human of everyone I know, so... It's obviously not his turn for the brain cell, as he just stands here.
He makes a lot of mistakes. Hi. Right, come here. Oh,
here we go. We have an entourage now. Good thing we didn't have that thing go where it tracks us and be looking all over the place. Hi, Binks. You want to come say hi? Do you want to make a guest appearance? They may come into the camera view.
They're just kind of surveying the land and being security at the moment, but...
Alright, so you left off with saying how those negative experiences define us based on how we react.
Yes, yeah, they do. They don't define us, but based on how we react, that does define us, you know? And same thing with positive experiences. Like, no one likes someone who, you know, is doing incredibly well and is, like, snobbish or narcissistic or, you know, and I, like...
But they're doing well, but they're not humble.
Be proud of yourself, but also be considerate to other people. Because I know myself, when some people speak and they're like tooting their own horn, you know, it's like, damn, like now I feel bad about myself, which like that's on me also, but it's like, you know, take everything as humbly and as gently as you can. Like, good things are gonna happen, bad things are gonna happen, but I think finding that balance between, you know, just the way you react. You know, you don't have to...
That's huge, though. Because we all
you don't have to rub good things in people's face, and you don't have to take bad things out on other people. Sure. If possible, you know, and I think it's hard sometimes, you know, it's always hard, but I think that's really, to me, what my spirituality has boiled down to, is trying to be aware of and act on that concept of, like, whatever's going on, I want to be the same person and be as decent as I can be.
For sure,
you know?
For sure. Tell me about the spiritual part of that question, or topic, you know, so you talked about, like, what the human experience is.
Right.
What does it mean to you to be a spiritual being having a human experience?
So, because we are human beings having a spiritual experience, or was that vice versa?
So
whatever.
Yes, spiritual beings having a human experience. So you talked about, like, you know, how we react to as humans defines us. Really, it's not the incident; it's how we cope with it.
My spirituality is heavily focused on the collective and what energy you put out. I think. And again, not that, like, if you put good out, you're gonna get bad or good or whatever in return, but the best way for you yourself to cope with whatever you're going through and to help those around you is to keep that baseline, you know. You're allowed to talk about your issues or whatever good's happening to you, but I think the way you treat people means a lot more, you know, like how you're reacting to those situations. Just because something bad's happening to you, you can't.
I mean, you can, but...
You can, yeah,
you can, but it's not helpful.
You can go out and commit crime if you want, but it's not...
It'd be gay while you're doing it.
So, I think that's what I'm finding my spirituality really boils down to is that we are a collective and we do need and feel a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
And to me, my being in touch with my higher power and my and feeling good about my spirituality comes a lot from how I interact with other people, because I feel like we're all very interconnected.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like the connection. You said the word collective. I love that term because, at the end of the day, we all bleed. Like the same color. Yeah. I believe we all come from the same source for sure. So what we talked about is actually a shorter version of the full phrase that I use in my actual spiritual practice, which is we are perfect spiritual beings having a flawed human experience. And I feel like that absolutely just resonates with everything you're saying. So for me, perfect spiritual being in my spiritual practice, in my experience, like what I've gone through means, and as a spiritual being, I don't know any biases, racism, economic class differences, like all the BS that clouds our vision as humans isn't there. It isn't there. And when I connect with people in the spiritual realm, whether it's spiritual entities or people that have passed on, like all those skins have been shed. And sometimes when people pass on, depending on how they live their life, it does go in phases, but that could be a topic for another day. But once they've gone through all the phases of their passing, they're just light. They're just light, but I feel like we're kind of born into light, and then, we get mud thrown on us as we walk through our life. You're this, you should talk like that, you should act this way, this group is scary, but we don't always have the facts, or actually usually we don't have all the facts. We're going based on, like stereotypes and things of that nature. So I always reflect back on, and I know this is a little corny, but you're going to live on the cob with me today. I love it. I stole that phrase from Rawn.
That's a meme. I don't own
That's
credit
a meme?
to that.
I love that.
Yes, but I thoroughly enjoyed your reaction when I said, I don't mean to be corny. I live on the cob.
You're going to live on the cob with me today. But I love the phrase, and you can put whatever term works for you in it, is what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do? What would my higher power do? What would my higher self do? What would God do? Like, whoever it is, Mother Nature, like, whatever entity you feel called to speak to, just plug that in there. What would Mother Nature do?
What would Bob Ross do?
That's a great one. Honestly, Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers. What would Steve Irwin.
What would Steve Irwin do? He'd be like, you're so beautiful just sitting here.
Sunbathing in the mud. He'd be like, I know. Right. But replace whoever those deities, Buddha, like whoever it is that interests you, that you feel called to communicate with, just plug it in there. What would that entity do? What would that deity or God do? Because if it's not love and kindness and based in truth and light, then that means it's convoluted with like human dirt, so to speak. The mud that gets thrown on us over time.
I like that. Human dirt.
The human dirt. Humans are dirty. Humans are dirty. I wash my hands 117 times a day and still I'm like, oh.
Me too. I'm like, can I just take my skin off? Yeah. I would like to be a skeleton.
Sometimes I would like to, like those old-fashioned washers where they're rubbing it on the baseboard and then rolling it through the thing. I'm like, can I just take off my human suit and give it one good run wash on the thing? We have some people watching. Hi, everyone.
Hi, guys.
If you have any comments or questions, you can put them in the comments section. We also have started a YouTube, so it's at Rawn Podcast, RAWN as in Nancy Podcast. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Our Hopeful Story, and you can find Rawn
on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Lauren Lewis or Storybook Tattoos, is the username. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm also, so I have a spotted taboo tattoo. I've been offered very graciously an awesome room there that I'm enjoying so much setting up and spending more time with Lon and Will and Diane and Cash and hanging out there. And I recently hosted a event for the full moon. We made abundance bowls, and I have another one in the works. Do you want to hear about it?
Yeah, I
Surprise.
do.
Surprise. It's called the Worry Less Workshop. So less is in parentheses. Did I tell you about that a little bit?
You told me briefly about some of the activities.
Yes. So the goal of the Worry Less Workshop is to bring us closer to a sense of inner peace and our favorite self. So stay tuned for more information on that. If the weather's nice that day, we're going to go on a little walk and say hi to my crow friends. Surprise! prize.
Like
You have to bring an offering though. They're like unsalted nuts and not heavily seasoned meat scraps.
Meat scraps.
Maybe you can go to K-pop and get
suspicious
meat scraps. So that is going to be this. I think it's the second Saturday in April. Is that the 12th? I'll post it on my Instagram and my Facebook soon, but follow along. I'd love to see you there. Because we are going to do more stuff like this. We're going to have awesome conversations about that. So that was like our infomercial. Do you have anything else to say after the commercial? I just noticed that
book a tattoo.
But yeah, get a tattoo.
Yeah, text me. My number's on my page. Sam, you need to be quiet.
When would you cut off like tattoo season before it's like too much people going to the beach and stuff?
Mid-June.
Mid-June's like end of tattoo season.
Yeah,
okay.
and then people.
So that means they should book like yesterday.
Yeah. We're booking for April now.
Okay.
So I've got May and half of June before people tend to take a break. You do hear, Sam's like, let me out. I need the hallway.
Is that what he wants? Go downstairs? He had a taste of freedom now. That's it. Yes.
But
they should get a tattoo. They should book it soon because it needs to be done before the middle of June, so it has enough time to heal before July. Is that what we're talking about?
Right, unless you're like a vampire like me and you're not gonna go to the beach, go swimming.
I do, but only after sunset.
Right. I love me a good night beach
session. Night beach sessions are my favorite.
I am pasty and I get lobstery very quick.
I have an appointment, Tara Kelly says.
You do?
And then Jovo says I might need to book my next appointment. You should.
Yeah,
come visit Rawn. I'll come in and say hi. So something that I offer a tattoo is individual sessions and group activities? Field trips?
Activities.
Workshops?
Yeah.
I like activities. We're going to do activities. So we'd love to come see you. Do you know who Jovo is? Jovo 1? Jovo F.
I'd have to look at their profile to know, but I'm sure
it's the size of the P. Can't you see it from here?
Who are you?
Does anyone want to buy me one for my birthday next week? Oh, birthday week!
Oh, when's your birthday?
Jay Metz says it's her birthday next week.
Janae.
It's his birthday. Okay, Janae. I'm like, I don't know who that is for sure.
She works with me.
Ha ha ha, nay.
They've been talking about
back and forth.
They came together when they got the little voodoo dolls.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute for sure.
But yeah, so June is a good cutoff date. I can't read.
The 5th.
The 5th.
April 5th.
April 5th.
I think that's a Saturday.
Is that a Saturday?
I think it is. Or Friday. Maybe it's a Friday. It's like the end of the week. Because I almost did my next workshop on that. I was like, it's too close. I had to push it out to the next one. Yeah. That's a Friday or a Saturday. Yeah, come get a tattoo. Someone buy her a tattoo for her birthday.
Yeah, for real.
You need more tattoos.
I'll cover half of it. Someone else needs to cover the other half. Just because I have to pay that. Like cover supplies.
For
that's
sure.
it.
The tattoo machine is calling you by your full legal name.
Yes.
For sure. Alright, so we talked a little bit about our own definitions of spiritual beings having a human experience. Do you want to talk a little bit about dreams?
Yeah.
Let's talk about dreams.
So I've been having a lot of crazy dreams lately. Yeah.
Why haven't you told me about the crazy dreams? Tell me now. Did you wait for this moment?
I talked to my therapist a lot.
Did your therapist like interpret them, or was she
no?
She just, that would be the coolest therapist ever. She was like, "Let me break out my book of dream definitions."
My therapist is cool. She's young. She's probably younger than I am, honestly. But I feel like I just can bounce things off of
I love
her.
that.
And
I love
just she's always got a great attitude and is positive and all of that.
We like a therapist that can be a sounding board.
She'll sit there and just listen to me, which is sometimes what I need. But anyway, I have a lot of dreams that make me wake up very sweaty and stressed out.
More so recently.
I feel like it's been a pretty long-term thing.
Okay.
Thinking back now, I feel like at least since I moved into Jackson.
Okay.
So, probably 2-3 years now at this point, and they're not always consistent. Sometimes I go a month or two and it's
Is it recurring dreams or are they always kind of...
They are recurring in theme.
Is there anything you'd be comfortable sharing with the...
Yeah. So, I have moved a lot throughout my life. Had a lot of, unsettled, throughout my childhood, we moved pretty much every year from the time I was 7 until I was a teenager. Like, we finally settled once James and I got into high school.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
But even as a young adult and as an adult, I've moved a lot. So I have a lot of these dreams where, like, things are in disarray as far as, like, just the space I'm living in feels unlivable to me, almost.
Like maybe things are, like, in flux or moving.
Yeah. Either, like, things are just piled up everywhere, dishes, laundry, things like that, or, literally in boxes, whatever, and I dream a lot about my mom and my brother James. Okay. And my mother's very vocal, and I feel like she's adding to the stress of whatever situation is there. And then James is just, like, in the background, like, hey, like,
hey, I'm here.
We're dealing with this again, So
is it almost more like, do I hear you saying it's almost more like a replay?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. And I've been diagnosed with PTSD, and I feel like that's
I just want to understand what you were saying.
Yeah, so it's not a replay precisely of events, but, like,
that same feeling maybe,
the
though?
same feeling of, like, not being settled and being, like, which...
And you just recently moved again, right?
You've
only been here for how long?
I moved in here January 15th, yeah.
So just barely over 2 months. You weren't even sleeping here, right away either.
Right.
It took you a couple days to get in there. So it's still very new. Very new.
So I'm trying to not... So my whole life, I feel like I've been, like, a lot of the time I was very concerned with, due to my upbringing and everything, material things. My mom was OCD and the house had to be spotless and put together all of the time. So I feel like I'm learning to give myself grace.
Yes.
And I think that's why I'm struggling with these dreams now, like being a little impatient with myself. Like, if things aren't perfect, they're not good enough, which is, they'll never be perfect.
We've talked about this in another podcast where perfection is not what's best if at least you paralyzed or in pain. I promise.
So, yeah, a lot of those dreams as of lately. Yeah.
So when you think about the recurring dream of, like, moving and stuff like that, when you think about it when you're awake, like, what do you think, and you might not have a clear trajectory, or, like, what do you think your next step would be to, like, move through that trauma? Because moving is traumatic, even a good move, but it sounds like you also had a lot of shitty moves. So.
Right. A lot of, like, very quick, very, like... Sudden. I'm finding that, in the material and this plane that we exist on, this human plane, is for me to be reliant on myself in a healthy way. Like, understand that I can take control of what I can.
Okay. So, like, that level of independence.
And also, there are things that are outside of my control, and just being aware of that, and, like, I think really giving myself grace is the best.
We have a guest star.
We do. Hey. Janae, are you still on? Because Sam is here.
He is present.
He is here.
He's checking in.
He is eager. He does not have the
Tara
brain
Kelly
cell.
says kitty. Kitty.
My baby boy. Someone scratched him good on his little forehead. I imagine it was Tasha, because she's...
I've only seen her once.
Yeah, she's not...
It's reading cat here.
She's not a fan of anything, so especially
me either,
not
actually.
Sam.
It's fine. Young Will, you're...
Come do a guest spot.
He should. It's funny. Anytime he showed up in a podcast, I put him in the title. Guest appearance by Young Will.
It's like having our own personal rapper.
Yeah, I was hoping it'd just be a close-up of Sam's butt for a minute, because that was going to be the cover photo of this podcast.
Just his
butt. Yes, so... actually, can I make a call out to tech support?
Yeah, please.
I need some tech support help. I bought 2 terabytes of storage for my phone, which I've heard is quite a bit. And I don't know how to make it work. And we're struggling to get the podcasts uploaded to my phone so that I can then upload them to, edit them in CapCut and then upload them to YouTube. The process has come to a screeching halt because I have no more phone storage, but I do have cloud storage, so I don't know how to get it all to communicate. Diane's laughing. So if anyone can offer us some tech insight or tech support, I would be happy to offer you a discounted ticket to a workshop or a reading, or if you just want to come by and have a conversation, whatever we can do to like barter for that. I don't think I need something too intense. You may even be able to do it over the phone and just tell me how to do the thing.
Right, because we're asking for your knowledge.
Your knowledge, please. Yes. My geriatric millennial brain has done too much of the Googles the last few days trying to figure it out, and I would rather shove something rusty in my eye than go into the Apple store or any store, really. Don't make me go in public. Please don't make me do that. So if you or someone you know is pretty savvy with the iPhone and the tech supports, hi Sam. He wants a sip of your drink.
You can't have my drink.
You can reach out to Rawn here at Storybook Tattoos. You can reach out to me at Our Hopeful Story on Instagram or Facebook. Yes, Instagram or Facebook. And let's just have a conversation, see if you can help us out. We'd really appreciate it. Because if I have to go into the Apple store, I will then be incapacitated for 3 days after to recover from the Apple store. Please don't make me do that. Alright, so we were talking about dreams, and I stopped taking notes because Sam was at the table. When you... Oh, you're talking about what you can control versus what you can't control.
Yes.
What's that serenity prayer? God, give me the grace
to move Sam out of the way of the camera.
Give me the grace to change the things. Wait, what is it? It's like something change the things I can, and the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference. Like I know the pieces of it, but I'm not.
The strength to change what I can. No, the courage to change what I can. I don't know. Yeah, not me. I actually did a painting of that for one of my teachers in high school for her daughter. Yeah, but I don't.
Oh, the serenity prayer?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
God, grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
Ooh, I love fighting that one. Let's just throw down over it because I won't be able to change anything that I don't.
Everything, right?
Yeah, anything that I don't enjoy or perceive as pleasant or positive growth, I would just like to fight it.
I would like to
catch me outside. How about that? That would be a good go-to for me. Do you have anything else to add about dreams?
What do you think about dreams?
Yeah, it's a good question. So for me, I've realized that not all dreams hold like. I don't want to say they don't hold meaning, but they don't always hold an action point. So she's... So last night I had a dream about someone that I dated previously, and the dream wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pleasant. Like, it wasn't super scary or anything like that, but there's a lot of drama going on in the dream. And when I woke up, I was like, oh, I should text them. And I paused, and I was like, wait a minute. Just because I dreamt of them doesn't necessarily mean I need to reach out to them. It could represent being, unresolved feelings, not getting a lot of closure in that area, whatever that looked like. But someone also, I saw in a video, said a couple months ago, so that when you dream of someone like that, in a scenario, because this dream was taking place in the future, that it could also represent, a glimpse into another timeline. Like, don't reach out to them, sis. Like, that's your window into another timeline. So I'm grateful that I didn't, because I don't think the emotional tax would have been worth it to reach out to that person. So I behaved. I deserve cookies. Or cinnamon rolls. We have cinnamon rolls.
Yes.
But on a deeper level, I do believe that some dreams can hold very significant meaning. When I was growing up, I know we've talked about this in a previous episode, when I started having lucid dreams and night terrors, I thought maybe that it was like an evil entity or whatever was happening there. And then the lucid dreams could sometimes be scary because it would get out of control very quickly and I would jerk myself awake. So even though I wasn't necessarily perceiving anything scary, it's like to suddenly have control over the dream would just suddenly shake me awake. I've had some dreams of, I don't want to say premonition, but that's not a word.
Premonitions.
Like premonitions, yeah, I can't talk today. What was the word I said earlier? And I'm like, interpret.
Interpret.
It's not interpret, right?
Interpret.
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 There's no R.
Interpret. I want there to be an R.
Interpret.
I'm just going to go through all the dictionaries I come across in the future and just be interpreting. So I think that they can hold value, but for me, it's the waking dreams that are the heaviest hitters for me. That's when I, meditate or put myself into a trance and check in spiritually and experience a vision or an entity or whatever that looks like. Those are the dreams that mean the most to me. But dreaming at night to me is usually pleasant. It's fun. I don't normally have like ongoing scary dreams. Not lately, at least. There have been times in my life where I definitely did. But when people say recurring dream, that's why I asked you about, is it taking place like in the same setting, kind of like a replay? Then that tells me there's something I usually need to like undress. Wow. That I need to address a little bit. I need to undress my dream. Yeah. I mean, it's not wrong.
You'd be a lot more attractive with less clothes on. Just saying, dream. Just saying.
I saw a funny meme earlier. It said we should have a new reality show where moms just read out loud the DMs their son sent to strange women's inboxes.
Oh my god, that sounds like the most uncomfortable thing I could watch.
But I would pay real money to watch it.
Yeah.
I really would. Like, I know there was one, I wish I could remember who she was. There was a content creator a couple of years ago. She would go to that person's page, figure out who their mom was, and forward it to her. Yeah. And they were saying nasty stuff like, I'm gonna, sexually assault you, like, really bad stuff. I'm like, oh my god. You should call his mommy. Like, absolutely.
Right. I'm telling your mom on you.
Yes. Okay. Oh, let's see. 7:10. Okay. So we talked about dreams. We talked about like our interpretation of like spiritual beings having a human experience. We interpret. Yeah, I guess I'm not really sure like where to go from there because I love everything we talked about, especially like moving with kindness and love and how that affects like one over the other. I guess something I was thinking earlier and I didn't get a chance to say is like my experience when we do pass on, like when our physical life ends and we're only then spiritual beings, we don't get to take anything with us but like our memories and our experiences and what we did, and I perceive it almost as currency. So like when we pass on to the spirit realm, how we affected others' lives changes the currency that we carry with us. And all those pieces of currency we have to, I almost perceive it like a coin. Like it's a coin that I have to spend to process to either give it back to a person that I harmed or get a coin back from someone that harmed me. So there is like an exchange of currency that I think happens in the spiritual world, just based on our experience. But anything in your bank account, in your jewelry box, your car.
How much currency do I need to have to come back as a very pampered house cat?
As a Sam, maybe?
As Sam.
Who's just sitting here as a bread loaf in the corner, for sure, yeah.
He's thrilled to be here. He's like, I'm part of this.
Yeah, I think you're close.
Thanks.
I
appreciate that.
I'm actually going to be the trophy wife that raises you as a house cat.
Oh! I just want treats 24/7.
Yeah, I will. You're going to be obese,
really
unfortunately.
Bed. That's fine.
Yeah, you're just going to
fine.
Army crawl through the house because you're so fat.
Just get me a skateboard.
I love the turtles on skateboards. Those make me so happy. They put like their little turtle to scoot through the house, terrorizing like the other pets and animals. Like,
I was watching. Sorry, totally different subject.
Okay.
I was watching one of my many serial killer documentaries earlier, and a lot of the time, serial killers start off by like abusing, harming animals, things that are have no power, can't have no voice. So this one guy over in England was abusing his pet turtles. They said like how do you
public execution?
How do you abuse a turtle? And also, but why would you? Like, what are you doing? Like,
dehydrating
throwing him across the kitchen? Like,
what did he say?
That was it. That was I was. This was while I was falling asleep before taking my nap.
I'm gonna rest so easy.
Jolted awake and was like, did I hear that correctly? This man was abusing his pet turtles?
That's awful.
That will drain your entire spiritual bank account.
I think it will. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to recover from that.
Right.
I do think that there is potential for recovery for, everyone I think, how do I want to say this? Hold on.
Can redeem themselves.
Yeah.
To an extent.
To an extent. So I do perceive spirituality as a call. It's a call that is such a quiet whisper on our heart that sometimes if I'm not sitting in complete silence, completely still, I can't hear it. I can't hear it. And if I'm doing things that go against my favorite self and my spiritual calling, and that's not always necessarily like mean or aggressive things. It could just be me being, like not taking care of my body, or me not, going into the shop on a day that I really should be out and about and not hiding in my room. But for some people, I think it does mean like cruelty, abuse, murder, like robbery, like whatever those things look like. And I think the call for redemption is there. It's whether or not they choose to hear it. Whether or not they choose to hear it and do something with it. Because I do know some people that have done some, what other people would perceive as horrific things in their life. Really tragic, harmful things. And they have redeemed themselves. And I think redemption is like also very complex in layers. Like you don't just be like, I know I just murdered those 16 people, but like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
Like,
I'm going to go work at the soup kitchen today, so we're even, right?
We're even, right? That levels the score, because there's nothing you could say to me as a fellow human that will make me believe the redemption. That's something that between you and your higher power. Like that's between you and your higher power, you and God, whoever you pray to, Jesus, Buddha, whoever, Sam. So like, if someone was sitting across the table from me trying to convince me that they had been redeemed, my human brain will never feel 100% about it. My human brain will never feel 100% that like, oh yeah, they've definitely turned the corner, because my brain is trained to remember trauma, threats, violence, so that I can stay safe, so that other humans can stay safe. But if spiritually you and your creator have settled that score, then like that's between you and your creator. And I don't think it's like a linear path either. I think it's very complex in layers, like ogres and onions. I don't think it's like a... you don't really get to buy your ticket to heaven. I know some people are not going to want to hear that, but it does not matter how many donations you make if you're still doing awful things. Yeah. I don't think that's how it works. That's not the kind of currency I was referring to earlier for spiritual currency. All right. What do we want to wrap up? Oh, I want to show you something.
I'm scared.
As you should be. Someone at my program had one, and I saw it at the Walmarts, and I saved it for us to open. You look scared. Are you scared or happy?
Cotton candy scented.
Yeah, it has an axolotl in it.
Slime!
It has an axolotl in it. We're going to unbox it together. Let's open it up.
Let's do an unboxing. Have you ever seen that meme where it's like, hello, I am Dave the Necromancer. Today we're doing an unboxing shovel
those.
In the dirt.
I want to paint a version of that and hang it somewhere. I'm Dave the Necromancer. Today we're doing an unboxing.
Oh my god, it comes with glitter.
It comes with mix and glitter? Yo!
Alright, the axolotl was not deep in there.
Okay, we get to mix in the axolotl ourselves. Okay,
He's a Squishmallow brand. I'm sorry.
It's okay, I went to poke it, you went to smell it.
It smells like the Krabby Patty gummies.
Oh, it does. And a little bit like Play-Doh.
And a little bit like
Maybe
Play-Doh.
if we work it a little bit, it'll... do you have your scissors on the table?
No, they're in the sink.
Can I screw? Oh, this texture. Yeah, we're going to have to warm it up a little bit with our hands, because I don't like the coagulated feel. Go ahead, dump her in. Hee hee ha. Can I see? There we go. The magical glitter. Oh, wow. Wow, that's a lot. Do we need 2 packets?
No. No, we do not.
I'm going to save this one for my crow friends, but let's see how it goes. Well, look, I did 2 nails today.
I like them. I like.
I'm
the
getting better.
I'm
getting better. Yeah.
This one looks like a bow tie to me.
Yeah, I was just dabbling around.
I like it.
Yes, it does kind of look like, I don't know. So this is my dominant hand, obviously, so I've been practicing with my non-dominant hand, the shaping and the painting, so teaching myself how to do gel nails. This are a little janky, but, having fun with it.
Oh,
is the glitter satisfying? Oh, I like the glitter too. Okay, hold on, let's show the camera what we got, without dumping glitter all over Sam. Although we should, yes. Look at that. We get to mix in the glitter. Yeah,
I just want to
it
get
does
it
smell a little
off my
Play-Doh
fingers, and then I'll let you have the honors.
Oh, no, we gotta do it together.
Do we?
Yeah. Oh, we don't have to. No,
Is
if
this
it's
a
unpleasant
team project?
You know those videos when they're like, it farted on you. It
farted
glitter. That's the kind of queef I've always wanted. I'm like, if we're gonna make that sound, can let's be a little glitter?
Right.
Alright, I'll cover it up while I do terrible things to it.
Yes, you assault that poor slime right now.
I don't see anything crazy on the table. I think because I wiped it before we started. There we go. Let's move our altar here so we can... That's a good thing to have handy, though.
It is, right? My little spider web guy. And definitely glittery.
We can mix this.
I really want to eat this.
I don't think it's meant for eating.
I know it's not meant for eating, but it smells like Krabby Patties.
I can hear, like, the tension in your voice. Like, what? It smells like Krabby Patties.
Oh, no.
Alright. Includes Archie the, what is it? Archie the Axolotl.
Archie is a terrible name for an axolotl.
I was thinking that's not very cute. Archie sounds like, I don't know, an old middle-aged person.
It sounds like Archie Bunker.
Not just cute little friend.
Very racist old sitcom.
Yes, I decided a couple months ago that I'm allowed to play. I'm allowed to play. Sometimes with slime. And that I don't need everything to be perfect to find a time to play, that I can take breaks from the grind to play. Yeah, this is cold. It needs to get worked a little bit. The person that showed this to me, it had been mixed for a couple days, and it was much easier to handle. She had not Archie, she had a different person. It was a different thing. So my choices were Archie and Cotton Candy. There was a little dinosaur, which was very tempting, and Blue Raspberry. There might have been a third one, but I don't remember what it was. I really hope this gets softer because it's, like, not pleasant right now. Like, I don't even want to put the charm in there.
I want to eat it.
You can take a little nibble and spit. You want to just, like...
I was definitely one of those children that ate Play-Doh. Just letting
I had a friend that used to chew the hands and feet off her Barbie.
I used to chew on the hands.
She wouldn't eat it, but she would chew it off.
The hands of my Barbie, because my mom had, like, old, wrinkly-looking hands.
Oh, yeah, she told me about that. Yeah. So, like, your mom's hands? Yeah. Yes. Hair, but all their limbs
were intact. That's good.
Her Barbies had luscious, beautiful locks, but no hands or feet. There's a timer going. Is that our laundry timer?
That is my laundry timer.
Alright, we'll wrap up. What closing thoughts do we have about, like, spiritual beings having a human experience?
I think, your wordage, phrase, whatever I'm trying to say.
Perfect spiritual beings having a flawed human experience?
The important thing for us to focus on is moving with love.
Yes.
Empathy and accountability, I think, play a role in that.
Oh, so that's what we were talking about in the beginning. Fucking accountability and responsibility, like 1,000%. Oh, this makes me really uncomfortable.
Here, give me... I'll be uncomfortable for a few minutes.
The level of accountability and responsibility, because the older and wiser that I get, the more that I realize that if I move through life with a level of accountability that I hold myself to, and also always open to hearing people that are leading with love and kindness to help show me where I need to be more accountable or responsible, like, that's just, it gives me such a richer, like, more positive life experience, because I also think that's how we build trust. You know, I know we've talked about this in a previous episode, which is someone close to me said once, well, all your friends love you, you know, because you're perfect. And I was like, whoa, let's tap the brakes on that.
Right.
And I'm like, my friends don't love me because I'm perfect. I'm like, they love me the opposite because I'm imperfect. Look at Pigs. Her cat's like this. Watching us play with the slime.
He's like,
he does not approve.
I would like to play with the slime.
It is my turn for the precious.
You want to be uncomfortable? Come here. I just have so much glitter on my hand.
You do have an obsessive amount of glitter. More glitter. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, yes, but that's how it builds trust, you know, and that's why my friends love me, is because not only do I hold myself accountable, but I give them grace. You know, I don't expect anyone to be perfect, but I do expect people to be respectful, to have a level of accountability, to rectify mistakes when they happen, and to take care of themselves. That's the biggest one. Take care of yourself. Don't ever pour from an empty cup, you know, to do something that, like, I need or someone else needs. That should always be the exception and not the rule. And I think that good spiritual health kind of naturally happens with that. I don't like the face that you're making at me. I think we're done. We're calling it here. It's only downhill from here.
I'm gonna eat slime, so
I feel like it would be satisfying to bite into, but don't, like, chew it. Just, like, sink your teeth into it. Yeah, it's fine.
Do I have permission to bite your slime?
Go ahead. That was a satisfying bite. That was a big bite.
In case the FBI ever needs me.
Wait, leave it just like that and rest it.
My orthodontist did
That's
me
good.
good.
That's
Look
a good
how
tooth.
nice
Wow.
and straight that is.
Mine's not even like that.
I wear
That's
my
a-
retainers still, you guys.
Do you really?
Teeth are expensive.
They are. I stopped wearing my retainer after they gave me a headgear, and now my teeth used to
when
be
I was
like...
younger, they told
Yeah.
me I would need headgear, but
Yeah. Then when
these days they
my teeth came in, my front two teeth came in like this, and I had a really bad overbite. Like, I couldn't even close my lips. So my parents did me a solid by getting me braces. But when my wisdom teeth started to come in as an adult, did a little bit of shifting. It's still very much reasonable and fine. But yeah, I had a headgear when I was a kid, and that's like the metal wire around the face, and then the one that brackets in the mouth, and then the strap across the back of the head.
I love that.
It was a look.
Do you have pictures?
You know, I tried to find one recently, and I didn't see any at first glance. I think my parents might have saved me from that, but also now as like a mature. I don't know what I want to say. Accepting of all versions of myself. I'm like, I want to see a picture of me with my headgear. I was trying to explain it to my son, I think, what a headgear was, and I was trying to show him a picture, and he's like, Mom, that's not a thing. And I'm like, son, it was a thing. You know what else was a thing? Is how many times the custodian had to dig my retainer out of the garbage, out of the cafeteria, because I'd pop it out of my mouth and put it on my lunch tray, and then just throw it away. And he would dig it out for me.
So when I went to Colorado with my old job, I lost my retainer. It fell out of my pocket when we were getting off the airplane. Everyone took a group picture in front of the airport.
You see it in the picture?
We saw it in the picture. And they were like, Lauren, your retainer is outside on the sidewalk. And there it was, broken and sad.
Oh, no!
Yep, someone had trampled my retainer.
Wait, but to this day, you still have a retainer?
I do, yeah. I've only had my braces off for... I got them in 2020 during COVID. While everyone had
so you
to
were like
wear
a very young
mask.
adult. Okay,
Yes,
yes. Okay.
so-
Sometimes I forget we have such a big age gap.
Not a huge age gap, but...
It's only, 13 years. It's fine.
So we were at the bar for Seth's birthday.
Yes.
And the bartender, it was also his birthday.
Oh, fun.
And Seth was like, how old do you think I am? And he's like, 25. And I'm like, you think he's 25? How old do you
He
think
said that
I
Seth
am?
was 25?
Yes.
What did he say about you?
How old do you think I am?
Oh, no.
He looks at me, he's like, 26. Meanwhile, this man is a whole
Couple
9.5
years,
years older than me. I'm like,
I get it.
I'm like, no tip for you, sir. No tip. I don't care if it's your birthday too.
For sure.
mad. I'm not mad. I don't care. I've always been told I look and act a lot.
I would say it's probably
older
more about
than
how
I
you
am.
carry yourself than how you look more than anything else. Because
Right.
I know I pick up on that more that I start looking at people's like fine lines around their eyes. It's,
Right.
how are they talking? How are they acting? Like, what are we doing? And that's kind of, not always, but usually where I start to gauge their age a little bit, for sure.
I'm like, this man is... I thought he was younger than me.
He was trying to get a tip. That's why he said.
No, then he should have complimented. I mean, maybe I don't know.
Who knows?
Seth
Who
was
knows?
paying, so
So that he did right. He
right,
did right,
he did
for
right,
sure.
yeah.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into Rawn, Tarot and Tattoos, episode 7. Follow me at Our Hopeful Story on Facebook and Instagram.
Follow me, so you can see me
Maybe
play
don't.
with more slime.
Don't follow.
Probably not.
We can
Probably
get more
a bad
slime for
idea.
next time or something else that's fun. I wanted to do
really
the unboxing.
enjoy
video.
this,
Yes.
and when we get off the live, I'll tell you what this looks like to me. But
Oh, it did
it
warm
looks
up a
like
little
skin
bit. Like it
with hair
feels bad.
follicles.
It does when you pull it apart like that, for
Right.
sure. I'm a little bit of a slime connoisseur. That's why I got
Yes,
this
at
one,
this
because I
point.
got to sample this one with somebody else, and I was like, that's worth the investment.
But yeah, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever
Storybook
floats
Tattoos.
your boat. Yeah, Storybook Tattoos is the name.
And on
so.
YouTube, we are Rawn Podcast. And again, if someone out there can offer a little bit of phone support for the technology that we're trying to figure out, or if you live locally, you want to come by the shop and say hello, we would love that. Yeah, I think that's it. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Thank you guys so much for joining. Sending you so much love and light. Please enjoy your week. Yeah, it's Monday. We're Monday people now.
We are not.
Bye.
Bye.
We're pretending. We're masking as Monday people.
Ribbit.